and like I said, I'm not trying to insult him in this video. I like the guy. I'm actually, I watch all of his content. It's just that we can't judge men harsher than we would judge ourselves. Meaning that if we're gonna say that Kanye West was an idiot because he had 4 kids with the wrong woman, then what about all the other women that the rest of us have children with that we're not with anymore also? It seems like we're all making the same mistakes, or are we all just getting the same results? We're all dealing with, American woman, whether she's black, whether she's Armenian, whether she's Spanish, she's Americanized. That's the common denominator that, I was going to talk to him some more about. We're dealing with American Western women. They're all the same. It doesn't matter what color they are. They all now are kind of the same. They listen to the same music. They talk the same. They use the same lingo. They're not, and they complete. And then to be one of these American Western women, even if they're from another country, once you become Americanized, you literally erase any of your previous identity. You can't, if you're a black and white mixed girl, the first thing you do is denounce being white. They hate it. And they literally just talk into victimhood and black culture. How are you supposed to have a family and build a relationship with a woman who's a victim? Eventually, you're going to be seen as her oppressor and her antagonist. You're going to be the one that she's going to blame all her problems on. It's a lose-lose situation. And he went through a divorce. So he's went through a lost situation. I've went through, God knows, I go through a breakup every 2 days with people I didn't even know I was with. So obviously, I'm also not getting favorable results, but we can't come. That's what I'm saying. We can't just judge and come down on men like it's all the men's just, yeah, he made a mistake because the woman was beautiful and he fell into it. But we can't just sit up here and say that makes you an idiot. It's a condition that a lot of men suffer from, where we're blinded by beauty. A woman's looks is a blind spot to a shallow man. Depending on how good she looks, you might overlook a whole lot of stuff. Depending on how good she looks, you might just sit and wait in line for her to finally notice you and come around. Some guys have been waiting to sleep with a certain woman for 10, 15 years. Since high school, he's had a crush on her. And first chance she gets, when she gets to a divorce, he's right there. Boom. Simp of the year. Super Saiyan simp. So that's my point. And like I said, I brought up his marriage just to say, hey, look, you and Kanye both got the same results. So we can't call you an idiot because your stuff didn't work out. So let's not call him an idiot. You didn't even marry an Armenian whore. What's your excuse? That's my point. I'm not trying to insult him. I was just trying to make the fair comparison. It's a fair comparison in my opinion.
There's a certain amount of cognitive dissonance, or you're trolling. So
no.
Idiot, can I finish it? This idiot has 4 babies with this Armenian whore. And you are sitting like, but
last time I checked, she's an American whore. I'm sure if he has an ex-wife, he might call her a whore. Think about it. Men don't just get divorced. He probably called her a whore too. She's not Armenian. She's an American. His ex-wife and Kim K have one thing in common. They are American Western women. We got to be honest about that. We got to point that out instead of just pretending like she's a whore from a faraway land. She's from like Calabasas or whatever.
I didn't know, but we all gotta learn.
We do. As a man, you got to go through it. You can't take somebody's word for it about everything. Yeah, if somebody tells you the stove is hot, don't touch it. Okay, cool. But if somebody says, hey, that beautiful woman that wants to suck it, she's going to destroy your heart. I'm just like, man, there's a such thing as acceptable risks. I mean, there's some risks that you just got to take. Yeah, she's probably a whore. Yeah, she got a lot of bodies and stuff. And, she's probably not going to be a good mother. But if she looks good in a bikini, yes, and she wants to give you something in that bikini, you might just have to roll the dice because it could work. That's how men think when we meet beautiful women. We know she's toxic. We know she's a headache. We know all these negative things about her. We know she has a past where you might call her a whore, but now she wants to be your whore. it's hard to turn down somebody that wants to be your whore because of her past. Men don't have, we can't, that we're not turning down beautiful women. We're not doing it. We can't. We can postpone it, but we can't turn it down.
You sound nuts, sir. Wait. With an Armenian whore. You didn't know she was a whore. And she did a sex video with Ray J. Who is his friend?
So what? So wait, you can't be friends with a guy that used to have sex with your girlfriend? Like, come on, that's a lot of guys have had sex with her. You supposed to not be friends with, so every man she's ever had sex with, you got to like mark them off on an imaginary list and make them all your enemies. Like that doesn't make, that's not feasible. It's definitely not realistic long term. Just because somebody used to smack, you knew your woman was not a virgin when you met her. You see that's what I mean. Like if it's not one thing, it's another. Now that's an excuse for why you don't want to be with her because of her past. You're either going to accept it or not. The only time her past really is going to matter is when you're thinking about marrying her and you got to take her to the church and you got to go out with her in public and hold her hand and you don't want no man snickering at you. So that's why a lot of guys import women to other places because no one in that area knows her. But if he went to her where she's from and took her out, then it would be just a little bit too embarrassing. That's why men don't do it.
Let me make a point to you. You as a divorced man have some nerve. Your wife was an Armenian whore and you're still divorced. You are in no position to criticize any man about his relationship dynamic. You're not in a position. You don't have a successful one yourself. So you can't criticize him about his marriage. How many kids? You got how many daughters with your wife that's an ex? And she's not an Armenian whore. What's your excuse? So give him a little bit of grace. What are we doing here?
Okay, can I ask?
Now, again, I like Aaron. I'm not trying to bring up his relationship because I want to invoke an emotional response. What I wanted to do was point out to him that it's a lose-lose no matter what woman you deal with if she's an American. His wife, his ex-wife, and Kim Kardashian, which is Kanye's ex-wife, they both have something in common. They're Americans. She's not an Armenian whore. She's an American whore. If you see your ex-wife with a new man, you're going to call her an American whore too. So and that was my point of that, is that we can't judge other men who are basically going through the same thing that we're going through. None of my relationships have worked out either. I'm not married. So I'm at 100% failure rate also. Just like Mr. Lego, Kanye, out of all three of us, is the only one that is currently married. He's the only one in a successful relationship right now because he's married. Marriage is the peak. It's the pinnacle. That's the goal. No matter what you do, the goal is always supposed to be marriage. Kanye, out of us three, is the only one that can say anything. We can't judge him because how would we know? We haven't been able to successfully do it. We're both going through breakups. So I wasn't trying to criticize him or say anything. I was just actually trying to point that out. That's all. That's it.
Your question? You're just babbling. Can I ask you a question? First of all,
very coherent English.
Something's wrong with you, but it's okay. It's okay. I'm okay with having sex. Having a conversation with.
Hey, Cameron and Mason are on here, but no, it was just a funny slip of the tongue. But again, when it comes to women, unfortunately, it's eventually it's going to be a lose-lose. You have to be prepared to leave it behind and move on. My advice is always don't get too attached, because soon as you get really, really attached, you're going to find out that somebody else is dealing with her and it's going to break your heart. And then you're going to want to fight. You're going to want to hit. You're going to want to get violent. And I encourage men to walk away from women, not to fight with them. There's a big difference. There's a huge difference.
People who don't know what the hell they talk about. I have no problem with that. So you're deflecting. I'm not even going to mention or respond to you about my marriage because that has nothing to do with nothing. You're trying to use that in order to incite emotion in me to make me feel defensive. And I don't fall for goofy shit. So I'm not even going to respond to that because that's not even your fucking business because you're having a conversation with me. Okay?
About Kanye.
About Kanye. So let's talk about Kanye.
Now, the way I've operated in the world, right? I cannot talk about somebody unless I'm also I can't be above reprieve where I can't be judged but I can judge other people. No. If you're going to talk about somebody, be prepared to talk about yourself as well, because you got to be able to show that you know what you're talking about. The reason men listen to me, and the reason that I, in real life, and I'm not necessarily a big person on the internet right now or anything, but in real life, everybody knows me. I always have multiple girlfriends. That's not very uncommon. What's uncommon about me is that all my girlfriends know each other. They hang out with each other in sequence. We're all in sync. This has been my lifestyle for the better part since probably about 2010, right? I've been living like this since March of 2010. I remember the month. It's because the girlfriend I met, she became my partner. Me and her did it together for years. And then after her, I walked away and got me another girlfriend to do it with. And when that became a problem, another and another. It gets to the point where it's kind of like you're still with the same woman. She just changes her name and her looks, but she's still the same person. And that's how I kind of look at it. So because of that, and because of my success and my recorded success and my consistent success with women, men listen to me and they ask me certain questions, and I try to give them the best advice possible. The best advice I give men is not focus on your money, focus on working out all the time. No. Those are good things. You always want to be successful. You want to be stable. You want to be healthy. You want to be able to move around. But my advice for men is it's mental. It's mental. You have to be, when they say only the strongest survive, they're talking about mental strength as well. It takes a very strong mind to understand a woman and to be prepared to leave her and not get too attached. Every woman is not Princess Diana or some perfect woman, and you're just always the bad guy. You need to do right and happy wife, happy. No. You have to focus on yourself, your happiness too. And when it becomes a problem, you have to walk away and walk to another woman. You have to go find another woman. I'm not saying be an incel, focus on yourself, stay home, don't touch anybody. That is pointless. That defeats the whole purpose of life. The purpose of life is to work so that you can so you can afford to deal with as many women as you need to. It's a lot of eggs got to get cracked to make an omelet. And then you got to find out the woman that you want to have children with. But even that situation, she can say one thing when you guys are in that situation, and then she can change her mind the next day. You do not control her. That's the kind of mental strength that I'm talking about. The strength to understand and to acknowledge that, which is pretty much impossible for a lot of men. They can't understand that they don't own women. And when they find that out, that they don't own her, she can do whatever she wants, they lose their minds. So that's why it seems like Kanye West lost his mind, but really he's just going through the same thing the rest of us go through, which is dealing with American women will drive you insane.
Kanye, don't. I'm not an idiot. Okay?
We can't judge other men.
We can judge other men. Okay? So
And we can be judged.
I didn't say you can't judge me. I said I'm not a part. My life is not a part of this conversation. Because if I had 2 kids with an Armenian whore, then you would have a stamp to bring my shit in here. You know I had sex. You literally said I did not have sex with an Armenian whore. So why the hell is my marriage having to do with this? You don't get a point that I made. No, you're like a woman, sir. Well, you was married. Okay, was she an Armenian whore? No.
And it's still not work.
You can't talk at the same time, sir. So I did not have sex with I did not have children with an Armenian whore. So that's one thing. I did not have sex with a white woman. That's another thing. Now I'm not complaining about my baby mama. So none of what you said.
Race doesn't matter. Your baby mama is the same as a white woman, just with a tan. She's likely Christian. She speaks English. She lives in the United States. There's no difference between her and a white woman, because American culture is the underlining culture of even Black culture. So they're pretty much the same. It's not like you guys have to speak a different language and you don't interact and you're kind of like in your own separate niche. No. It's a very integrated society. And I believe he's in Atlanta, and there is no segregation. People are still integrated. So whether she's Black or white doesn't make a difference.
Saying to me has anything to do with this freaking idiot. Okay, You're saying stuff in order to prove some goofy ass point you have about Kanye West.
The audience actually agreed with my point. The comments agreed with the single boyfriend Rico. They agreed with my point. I made a clear point. It's not necessarily it might not have been the point that he wanted to hear because it goes against his narrative. But that's the thing. You should want someone that's going to counter you. That's when a discussion becomes interesting. If it's an echo chamber, nobody wants to listen. So that's why I like to hear people that have a contradictory or an opposing view. We don't all have to repeat each other. Like I said, I do politics most of the time. This is just my relationship stuff. For the most part, I talk about politics and world events and whatever. But this is just my relationship stuff on the side. But him and I talking like this is healthy because you need conversation with people that have a difference of opinion, and you see where you guys can come together and have some commonality. Even if he thinks about it eventually, no matter what his wife or Kanye West's wife, no matter what, they both ended up in the same place. Divorce.
Children with an Armenian whore and is now walking around with his stupid ass outfit on, complaining about who he had a baby with. He's an idiot. So now go ahead.
Tyrese also not with an Armenian whore. What does he do? Complain about his baby mama. It happens. As men, we go through it. But none of us are beyond reprieve where we can just sit up here and
two kids. He had it. Okay. So
no. Tyrese.
I don't. But remember, he had 2 baby mamas, and the first baby mama is when he was like, "Oh, what's my baby?" He turns around and do the same stupid shit with another woman that looks exactly like his baby mama.
Don't you? Okay, can we come to common ground that sometimes women drive us insane? Can we come to common ground that women drive us insane sometimes?
Now we're victims of women.
No, I'm just saying, just being in a relationship as a man sometimes.
Why can't we be men and stop being victims of our main whores?
That's the thing. It's a condition. Men dealing with women is a part of the human dynamic. It can never be seen as an excuse. That's just like somebody saying, "Hey, I need a cup of water. I'm about to die of I'm about to die of thirst or dehydration," and you're like, "That's just an excuse to drink water." And you're like, "No, I actually have to drink water." As a man, you throughout all of human civilization, you literally have to deal with women. This whole being gay and all this stuff, yeah, men were gay back in the day, but it wasn't like it is now, where we're confused about if we actually have an imaginary period where there's blood. If there's blood coming out of your penis, sir, go see a damn doctor. That doesn't mean you're on your period, and we shouldn't celebrate that on TikTok. Go get some help. Get some antibiotics. Get some antibiotics, maybe. But no, again, Mr. Lego, men, being in relationships is a lot of pressure for a man because everything is on you. Something goes wrong, everyone blames you. No one's blaming. He's not saying Kim K's an idiot. He doesn't even know Tyrese's baby mama's names. He's not saying they're idiots. Guess who everybody is falling on? The men. It's the man's fault, no matter what. That drives you insane. That's like a celebrity who's going on stage to perform. I've been on stage before. I know why people have to get doped up. Because everywhere you go, somebody might get an angle of you not looking your best, and they post it online. And the stress and the press, bro, it can drive you insane. A relationship with a woman can literally do the same. It can have an effect on your physiology, your mental health. That's why I'm always like, be strong enough mentally to walk away from that woman and start over with a new one. Now people say that's bad advice. Okay, I'm giving out bad advice for free. Take it or leave it.
Stop, bro.
No, bro.
Let's talk about Tyrese real quick. Tyrese, even though we love Tyrese is amazing. He's a part of our upbringing. But he's a cornball.
I don't like Tyrese. He's a Democrat.
Do you agree that Tyrese?
Yeah, I don't like any male Democrats. They're gay.
No matter what Tyrese is a movie star, but do you see he's a cornball? Yes, sir.
He's weak. he cries a lot, and no one wants to see
There
him
you
there.
go. He can't keep friends. He has no goddamn friends. Like he got kicked off of Transformers. Then he got kicked off of Fast and Furious. He's a weirdo.
I mean, I've met him a few times. He's insufferable. I agree.
Thank you. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, he is. He is insufferable. That's what he's a Democrat. What do Democrats do? They lie. They make up excuses. Everything's everyone else's fault. There's no accountability. That's the whole point of being a Democrat. And unfortunately, that is that's a part, unfortunately, of the black male culture. And when men that are black break out of that mental psychosis, now everyone says you're not black no more. You're this. You're thinking for yourself. You're not making excuses. And apparently, that's what it takes to be black: is to be weak, is to be gay, is to be make excuses and not hold yourself accountable. And I'm trying to get people to get out of that by pointing it out to them that you don't have to live like that. But when you got other people in your ear telling you that it's okay, all these yes men around, well, then you have the same results Tyrese gets. And and this is where him and I actually, where we actually our points kind of meld and we come to common ground, which I think is healthy.
Keep making excuses for idiots. So with that being said, because you brought this up and you make a great point, do you see Kanye West and Tyrese as the same stupid idiots? Yes or no?
When it comes to women, if you're a shallow man, you are the same type of idiot behind a woman. Yes, you are.
That's all I'm saying. So you brought this up and you made a brilliant point that proves my point, which makes you unbrilliant, but brilliant and unbrilliant all at the same time.
Yeah, I've been called words.
Kanye West and Tyrese are the same idiots. They do the same stupid shit. They both have emotional problems. And we sit here and look at them and we make excuses for them. These men are idiots.
I believe, in my opinion, the only difference between them two is that Kanye in his actions is righteous. Tyrese is self-serving. He needs his own worst enemy.
They're both the same person.
And Kanye's fighting for a bigger goal, and it's really to support all of us. He's not wearing that outfit for himself. He doesn't wear it in the dark. He's wearing it to represent something in front of his people. Now you're not going to be afraid if you see that hood. Remember, in your subconscious, you've always been afraid of racist white Americans wearing those hooded outfits, even though everybody who's ever done anything to anybody in your family had a blue or red rag. You're still worried about a white robe. He made you get over it, and he did a good job, I think. That's what made him brilliant. I think we froze up. Hello? I don't know if we're still alive or not. I don't know if I'm kicked or internet connection. Let's see if my internet's good. Yeah, my internet's on.
I didn't know his live was still going at this point, but yeah, he had an internet connection. And anyway, he had me and him had a conversation on StreamYard that we didn't go live on, and we made some good points, and we agreed that we'll likely do some content together in the future. Like I said, there's things that I've heard him say that I use all the time. People always ask me, where do I get the phrase "women or children" from? I never really tell people, but because I didn't know if anybody would know, but this is the source. I actually picked that up from him probably 2023, when I first started watching, 2023 or so. So, Aaron, I give you credit, Mr. Let Go. You're the reason. You're the source of where I got women or children from. Now, if I don't know, make it into a website and I start a whole series at women or children, and I can prove to you that women are children, then I don't know if I got to cut you in on that or not. But we can negotiate. But at least I'm making this video and you'll be able to reference it with a date and time in case you want to sue me over it in the future. So this video is actually for historical records. And people don't watch a lot of my stuff live. It's not until I upload it and edit it and all that stuff later that YouTube shares it. Just the live stuff. You can't just go live and all of a sudden people just populate who don't know you. That's not realistic. Anyway, this was my conversation with Mr. Let Go. I enjoyed the conversation. We're going to talk some more. But I just wanted to bring this subject up that Kanye West is not an idiot. He's brilliant. And what he did was amazing. He's fighting a war against an enemy that they've already said we're their enemy. They said young black men are our number one problem in the United States. This woman from this particular group that we're not supposed to speak about literally made that announcement, and no one said anything about it. You specifically are targeting, you're saying one ethnic group is your enemy. But if that ethnic group says you're their enemy, now they're anti-Semitic. Like what? Like how does that work? So anyway, I'll be back on in about 30 minutes. I'm gonna go have some lunch. I gotta walk my dogs, and I'll be back with another episode. We got some other topics to talk about. So yeah, just go ahead and tune in, and I'll see you guys shortly. And and follow the sponsor, cosigning.com. If you don't have a friend or a family member and you have to move last minute and they tell you need a cosigner and no one that you know is willing to do it, or they don't have the credit, contact cosigning.com. They'll match you with a qualified cosigner in 1 day and help you get approved for your new home. So follow the sponsor, and I'll be back shortly. Thank you.
I've been needing to find a new apartment, which has not been easy with credit as bad as mine. Luckily, I found cosigning.com. They connected me with a cosigner who helped me get my dream apartment for me and my dog. I just paid a small fee and was able to move in fast. Get the cosigner you need for the apartment you want. Check out cosigning.com today.